Welcome back to Kin in Line. This is part 24. These three men basically commanded the South African Defence Force when I was in the army, and two of them visited our media center in Kimberley, where I had failed a security test really and was taken off the intelligence course, as it were, and put in the media center. I drew these from the magazine Paratus, probably. Bizarrely enough, both Magnus Malan, top left, and Constant Viljoen, who was head of the army, and I think the Minister of Defense was Malan, visited us in our little office. So, there I was with the top dogs in the army, and I was a security risk. I forget who the guy here is on the right, but I actually captured that look here. That is exactly the sort of look he had. Constant Viljoen, yeah. He had a twin brother who was like a liberal, far left-wing character, which was quite bizarre too. And then Magnus Malan's, yeah, who knows, different people. They had a job to do, I suppose, and they did the best they could, but we had to be part of it. So getting back to some of the characters I worked with, this is my old mate Kurt. Always smiling, nice character. So we're still in the media center in Kimberley, and here are some of my buddies drawn with pencil. Pencil always gives a nice sort of quality. So I quite enjoy that. This is quite a nice one too. Even the double line on the nose sort of works. I mean, that exaggeration of the profile of the nose and everything, I really enjoy. Again, sort of elongated. Sometimes this happens because one is drawing with the page flat on a surface and the figure gets elongated because you're drawing what you see, and what you see as it comes out on the page, it's actually elongated because the page is flat instead of it being in line with the character, as it were. Remember this young chap from Durban? He definitely had a sort of David Bowie look to him. Some very almost tracing paper like. So three more characters. Every individual is different, and as different as they appear, their characters, their personalities are often. Look at that, just a few lines suggest a chap. Another of the Durban boys. It almost reminds me of those pictures you see of World War II, from World War II, of your great uncle or somebody who served. Now, I drew these politicians off the TV. I can't remember who. I think that's Bill Horak at the bottom. Can't remember the guy on the left. And who was the guy on the right? He was the Minister of Constitutional Development or something. And he made all these National Party policies sound so impressive, but all he did was just obfuscate, I wish I could remember his name. You can sort of see the type of person just from the look. and Fatom Davi. This was Davi de Villiers. As a schoolboy, I mean, he was one of my heroes because he was the captain of the Springbok rugby team, scrum half, excellent. He almost, I think, invented the dive pass. He became a clergyman, and then he later became a cabinet minister in the National Party. So I would have just drawn this again out of a magazine or something. We're back in the bungalow in Kimberley. So there's a focus on the guy's back, the spine sort of expressed. And this was my friend McIntyre, done in a few quick squiggles. And I sort of got his character. If you knew him, you would sort of see that's the kind of person he was, sort of slightly full of cuck. And another meeting of mates in the bungalow. This is what went on all weekend. You know, we were in there with 100 others. You can see my art school training of foreshortening. But I mean, this was early days, so I hadn't really mastered, like, look at that arm, it's still a bit of a muddle. This was Mr. McIntyre again. And that guy Kurt, nog weer. So he had these big, thick glasses, which probably ensured that he, like me, was in a clerical position and not playing soldiers in Namibia. Two more guys. I quite enjoy what you can't really do with photographs is sort of juxtapose two images like this, which you can do with drawing very effectively. In fact, it adds something. Look at the interesting detail on that face. He's certainly alive and expressive. A very severe looking chap with his beret just suggested. Yeah. I haven't seen these drawings for a while. I mean, I don't even remember this one. What's going on down the bottom here? Sure. I do remember this sort of just his head is defined by the lines I've done behind him, which is quite interesting. And the nose is just a line with a few streaks shooting off of it. This was obviously in the bungalow, and these are the cupboards, the steel cupboards between which each bed was placed. And talk about a sidelong glance. Maybe he was about to come and murder me because I was drawing him. Wat maak jy, Bentley? Actually, at one stage, they realized I was drawing things, so they came to me. One guy came and said, "Make a photo of me," you know, in Afrikaans. I must make a photo, drawing of him. And I actually did one or two. There's old Kurt with his long bene. And I think what makes this drawing is the suggested figure on the right. So it's just a very sort of fine line suggestion of a face, and there's Kurt's more defined face. And that makes for an interesting drawing. This is my friend Sol again, I think. Unmistakably wiry, thin, wiry body. I mistakenly called him Sol Skolny a few videos back. But of course, Sol Skolny was a chap I encountered in PE when I was a reporter in the 80s. So this is just Sol, I can't remember his surname. And look at this sort of real, don't know how to describe this technique, but look how the face emerges. It's quite an aggressive looking thing. And then just a leg in the foreground. But these were early days, and I don't know, I quite enjoy this technique. It's just done for the love of drawing, you know. Another of our Durban mates, forget his name, but he had no kneecaps, I think. That got him out of being an infantryman. But he actually volunteered to go to the border. So he went off with the rest. He was actually one of those people who wanted adventure, you know. Yeah, I think this is that same McIntyre guy. Feet up, relaxing. I suppose we were all pretty fit in those days. I mean, this oak looks like he's got some serious shoulders there. And in the bungalow again. Quite a nice drawing. Take forever to focus. So we're nearing the end of all these characters for now. I'll probably ferret out some more. But look at this. I mean, it's just, again, a handful of lines, and you've got this sort of pompous looking chap. And this guy eating something. And this guy looking inane. No problem focusing on bold drawings like these. But look at this chap, he looks about 70, and he was probably 20. But all the different characters, I mean, these are just so, each is so individual, such an individual. And just two more of the many different characters. So this was near the end, I think. This chap I remember on the right here was from East London, so I drove back a couple of times, hitched back with him or got a lift with him or something. And look at the chap on the left, he sort of almost looks like a monkey. And here's Kurt again, with his long legs. Pretty similar to that other one in that I've got that figure suggested behind. And the importance of that is to complete the composition. And you sort of do that without even thinking about it. This long leg. And I'm going to just end this section with that Sergeant Major, Die Baas van die Plaas, Sergeant Major Blichnout. He was liked by most people. For some reason, some people just have a likable personality, and although he was in authority, he had few enemies, I think. Anyway, must end for now. Thanks. Cheers.